as you drive west on Interstate 94 in North Dakota, going towards Montana. All of a sudden, the landscape changes drastically, and you realize you're not in the Great Plains anymore. Welcome to the Badlands.
I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV, yeah.
It is a pretty drastic change of scenery as we roll down this hill and encounter this otherworldly landscape. When Theodore Roosevelt saw this for the first time in 1883, he was so touched by his experience that eventually it influenced his conservation policies. Hence, they named the national park that preserves part of the North Dakota Badlands after him. I'm gonna go into the resort town of Medora, park the rig, and then backtrack 2 miles to the Painted Canyon Visitor Center, which is also a rest area right off I-94. Take a look at this place. Painted Canyon. This is kind of emotional for me, arriving to this part of the country, especially driving. It always is. Today we begin a new stage in our road trip. After 2 weeks in the Midwest, we have finally reached the West. And you know me and the West. The mountains, the desert. It's a thing, at least for me. As the sun keeps going down, the more beautiful all these formations look. I can't wait to explore all this wilderness tomorrow morning. Good morning and greetings from Medora, North Dakota. The national park has 2 units, north and south, and then there's also Teddy Roosevelt's Elkhorn Ranch and the Little Missouri River National Grasslands that pretty much surround everything. We have 2 whole days to explore the area, and we're gonna start with the more popular south unit. And the entrance is right here, off Medora's main drag, Pacific Avenue. Everything is kind of understaffed because of the pandemic, so there's no one at the gate. You have to pay or show your pass at the visitor center. I went into the visitor center, got my map, and let's see what this is. This is like a log cabin, maybe a replica of Theodore Roosevelt's, you would think, right? Maybe? Let's see what's inside. This, by the way, a restored Maltese cross cabin, Roosevelt's temporary home. A man who loved a rocking chair. Theodore Roosevelt's rocking chair collection, huh? His desk there. Like the kitchen area. Wishing for cleaner glasses here, but a hunter and a ranchman. That's pretty cool. And here's the bedroom. Well, there you go. Now with that historical perspective, now we can go explore the rest of the park. Apparently there's a segment of the road that is closed, so we're gonna have to turn around at some point. Let me read this real quick and yeah. Very nice scenic drive here as we start gaining elevation. And coming up here to the left is the first stop, the Medora Overlook. Such a beautiful morning here in Medora. So there's another RV park down there. There's Chimney Park, used to be a meat packing plant, and it is right by the entrance to the park. So beautiful. And check it out, we have wildlife, we have deer. Well, let's continue on the road ahead. Oh, wait a minute, there's more. And I know, deer are so common outside big cities that sometimes you don't bat an eye when you see one, but they're super cute. Well, we saw our first wildlife. We saw some deer. It's pretty cool. It's a good welcoming committee to the park. The road ahead looks red, so there might be some traffic coming up. Our next stop is right here to the right, and it doesn't look like much at first sight, but it is a prairie dog town. Hello there. Theodore Roosevelt wrote, "Prairie dogs are abundant. They are in shape like little woodchucks and are the most noisy and inquisitive animals imaginable. They are never found singly, but always in towns of several hundred inhabitants. And these towns are found in all kinds of places where the country is flat and treeless." Don't be fooled by the name. They are more closely related to ground squirrels or chipmunks, woodchucks, marmots. But early French explorers decided to call them dogs because they sounded like they were barking sometimes. Yep, these two are just going at it. Taking a break. Hold on, I've got an itch. Here comes another one. Maybe the mother or the father? He is definitely ignoring the little ones. Fascinating, isn't it? Well, hello there. Ugh, I'm tired. Way cool to see the prairie dogs. Now let's go to the more scenic part of the park over there. Oh wow, let's pull over real quick. Let's stop. Would you take a look at this place? That's the Little Missouri River down there. Look at these guys in the middle of the road. The Little Missouri River. Can't really see it from here, but it is out there, trust me. This would be the Cottonwood Campground, which is the only one here in the park's south unit, but it is closed, like so many other things. You know why. By the way, had we been able to camp here at Cottonwood, it's supposed to be primitive, no hookups whatsoever, but you are like right here inside the park. Actually, with the weather the way it is and the high temperatures, I'm kind of glad I'm with full hook, water and electric. I'm glad I have electric out there in Medora, and it's all right. Peaceful Valley Junction, 1 mile, and that's the road that is closed. What have we got here? Oh, it's a bison jam!
Check that out. Hello there, Mr. Bison. Or Mrs. Bison. It's hard to tell because both genders have horns.
Isn't this cool? A herd of bison, right here, right next to the road. They are just ignoring us intruders. And they are all over the place. Got ourselves a bison jam. What are you looking at? Onward we go! That was really cool to see the bison. I think I read somewhere, this is the only original bison herd left, like endemic from this area. The last of the bison herds. All the other ones have been like repopulated somehow. Let's check out Peaceful Valley Ranch. There's supposed to be a trail here. Oh, here's the trailhead. Just the access to these big two trails, 5.4 miles and 9.1 miles. I'm not prepared to do any long trails today, but looks beautiful. Let's just go up to the Little Missouri River. We could do that. And that's the thing. There are a lot of trails here, but they're all pretty long. They would take half a day or even a whole day. Maybe if I can get on a horse. I wish I had come prepared to do longer hikes because it is beautiful out here. Here's again the Little Missouri River. Maybe you are supposed to cross where the sticks are. Well, yeah, I believe this is as far as I'm willing to go. Let's go back, continue on the loop drive. And let me tell you, so far, Theodore Roosevelt National Park, very impressive. And as I usually say, when a place gets designated a national park, it is usually with good reason, and it is almost guaranteed to blow your mind in one way or the other. So I'm not quite mind blown, as the term would suggest, but it is definitely very beautiful out here. Very nice. Look at that. It's like amazing. Yeah, I have the GPS on just to get travel time estimates, but I mean, it's only one road. There's no need for the GPS, right?
Take the next left onto East River Road.
And we've got ourselves another bison jam. Not that I mind.
We've got bison. More bison.
Oh, it's a prairie dog town on the other side. Let me park here at the beef corral bottom. And what are the chances we see a prairie dog and a huge bison on the same shot? I think it would be imprudent to get out of the car right now. I think I'm gonna wait until they get a little bit farther.
Do not feed the prairie dog. How about the bison?
And they're gone, going away. Really cool to see the herd with all the calves as they slowly move away. Alright, let's continue. It looks like we're gonna catch up with them once again. Yeah, they're gonna go on the road, and why wouldn't they? There's a little bridge, so it would be easier, right? Pretty smart creatures, if you ask me. What can you do? It's another bison jam. They do have the right of way. Okay, let me stop here. This pullout is not really marked on the map, so I don't know what it is, but it seems to be like a trailhead, so let's check it out.
Okay, let's see what we've got here. This seems to be like a trail. Look at those rock formations up there. Oh wow, that's quite a view.
Despite the beautiful views, it is not a very well marked trail, so I'm gonna go to the other side of the road, and then we might return and walk on this one a little more.
Here's the view to the other side. Yeah, I don't know if these are like official trails, but the views are pretty spectacular. Let's go all the way to that hilltop there, and then we'll return. Oh wow. Look at that view. That's the road.
Let's go back to the other side. I know that RV. Yeah, those are my neighbors at the campground, and they are viewers too, by the way.
Oh yeah, this is... I mean, that looks almost artificial, doesn't it? Like man-made. I wonder. Look at all this. Very, very interesting. They kind of remind me of Goblin Valley in Utah. And this, I just can't believe nature actually made this. But I don't see why not. It looks like something the National Park Service would put there, like for people to sit. But yeah, this is quite amazing. Well, that's someone a little more brave than me. I don't think I would take a big fifth wheel inside the park.
I grabbed some water just in case, so now we can go a little farther. And isn't that where we saw the bison a few minutes ago? I think so.
Amazing, amazing landscape. I can only imagine what Theodore Roosevelt thought when he saw all this for the first time. He's like, yeah, let's save this stuff for the benefit and enjoyment of the people. And it's a little sketchy here, but yeah, I think the trail continues that way. Maybe I went off trail. Yeah, the trail. This seems to be the trail. A cavern of sorts down there. Yeah, I must be careful here. I think this is more or less as far as I'm willing to go.
That's the road down there. We've got cacti. I'm telling you, it is really starting to look like the desert. Oh, what a view.
What forces of nature could form something like that? Yeah, well, here comes the sketchy part. I just...
It is a very short distance to the next trailhead. This one is called Wind Canyon Trail, and it seems to be like a loop.
Okay, here we go. This is more like it, 0.4 miles. Moderate gravel and dirt surface with stairs. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna go up all the way to the top of that hill over there. But you know, I have water, and the only thing I'm missing is my hiking shoes. But I think I can manage. Besides, I gotta start practicing for Glacier National Park, which we're gonna visit next week. Actually, in less than a week, and I'm not gonna do any super strenuous hikes there either, but more than this for sure. All right. Here we go. That's quite the precipice. These are some of those rock formations that you could almost give them animal names. And check it out. There's the Little Missouri River meandering down there.
I guess this is the actual Wind Canyon right here. We're gonna have to go all the way up there.
Oh, here we have some stairs going up. Ooh, look at that. Keeps getting better and better. And now, as we conquer the top of the mountain here, we get 360-degree views. I like it. Now let's go to that vista point over there.
Beautiful views in every direction. Those are some pretty cool rock formations too, like miniature cliff dwellings, kind of.
This was a very cool hike.
Let's deviate from the loop drive onto this dirt road that actually goes outside the boundary of the national park, onto the Little Missouri National Grassland. It is a dirt road and everything is gonna get even dirtier, but I think it is going to be worth it.
Let's check it out. I mean, the truck is already dirty.
Let's go on a little adventure. Let's go the road less traveled. Oh, it's another prairie dog town.
This is it. This is the north boundary of the national park. I don't know if I should keep going. There's a creek coming up called Gorman Creek. It doesn't say anything about not trespassing, so I'm gonna go all the way up to the creek. But we are outside the boundary of the park, so in theory I could come here and fly the drone. That UPS truck. Really beautiful, but I'm gonna turn around.
Let me tell you, I am really tempted to continue on this road, see where it leads, but I want to finish the loop road first. We'll see if we can come back tomorrow. This looks like a good spot to turn around.
Yes, as much as I would love to keep on exploring. We are back in the national park.
Let's stop right here for a few minutes, take a break. Boycott Overlook. There's supposed to be a trail nearby. Here is the trailhead.
All right, there's supposed to be a trail here, and it's the Boycott Trail. It's not supposed to be too long. Let's always read the information here. 15 minutes, easy. I already see it. So there you go. 15 minutes, a third of a mile, easy, gentle terrain. And from a vantage point high atop the prairie, look for wildlife in the valley below. Maybe we get to see some, I think it's just to that outcropping over there. Let's see if we can see some bison.
Oh, I can see the end of the trail all the way over there. These views, let me tell you, are getting better and better. And I'm sure they'll be spectacular from the end.
Very, very impressive views of this, sort of like a canyon here on the side of the trail. Look at that. It's almost like Angel's Landing.
Not quite, but we're going to be walking on a ridge with steep drop-offs on both sides.
Look at that. Such an amazing landscape.
This was totally unexpected. I knew this place had some incredible views, but this has, by far, exceeded my expectations.
Well, am I glad I got back into the hiking mood. I mean, this place is amazing. Expansive views.
No wildlife to speak of, but the views are spectacular. I thought those might be bison from afar, but they're only rocks.
Well, definitely one of the most rewarding hikes I've done lately. I mean, at least since last year. This was totally worth the short hike coming here. I mean, as I've said in my song, nothing like the West. It just doesn't compare, you know what I mean? I mean, there's beauty everywhere, but this is like another planet, if you know what I mean. And that's what makes it so special. Totally worth it. I mean, look at that. And when there's no people around and it's quiet, like now. I mean, aside from the distant insects, you know, or something like that, you could hear a pin drop. Amazing.
Our next stop, Buck Hill.
The views are not bad, but I hear the views from up there are much better, so let's do it. Here we go, Buck Hill. 10 minutes, 0.1 mile. Moderate because, you know, steep grades and stairs. The wildflowers are in bloom. Oh man, these stairs, they really kill me. Beautiful rocks. Look at all the layers. Look at that.
This is the type of landscape that, I've mentioned it before, it doesn't really photograph well. You can't fully appreciate it without depth perception. Only possible through stereoscopic vision, but we can try our best. Alright, let's start heading back down. Yeah, the views are usually a lot better on the way down. We've got one more stop here in the South Unit, and that is the Badlands Overlook. And this happens to also be the end of the road. The last 12 miles of the loop are closed, so we have to turn around right here. This is it, the end of the road, the Badlands overlook.
Well, definitely a fitting end to our exploration here of Theodore Roosevelt National Park.
Now we have to drive 24 miles back to the entrance. Look at all the bison at Peaceful Valley Ranch now. These were not here earlier today. Okay, after we drive through Medora here, we are going to Teddy Roosevelt's Elkhorn Ranch, which is a pretty long drive through the Grasslands. It is pretty remote. First, I want to drive on I-94 almost to Montana, just to see what lays ahead and to put gas. To some of you, all this farm equipment might seem mundane, but this city boy finds all this stuff fascinating. There's also something magical about the Grasslands. Something unique, perhaps even odd. I don't know what it is, but there's something otherworldly about these treeless grass hills. Eventually, we have to go where the pavement ends. Another thing with these grasslands, it is not pristine and natural like the national park. This is farmland. Some of it even feels industrial. And so many cattle. Free-range, grass-fed beef, baby. So why did the cow cross the road?
Hello there.
There's oil underground. Alright, here we go. Elkhorn, 1 mile.
Here's a trailhead.
It looks like I am the only human here.
No, I happen to be the only one here.
Let's see what the sign says.
Okay, apparently it is a 3/4 mile path. So I decided to grab some water. And there's another trail that goes farther on the other direction, but I'm not gonna do that one. Let's just do this one. 3/4 of a mile should be, what, 15 minutes?
It seems to be mostly flat, so it should be easy. My only concern is the remoteness and the fact that there is no one else here. No cell phone coverage either.
decided to run a little bit. Well, here we go. Now we are like a third of the way there, and we have some exhibits here.
This was the place Roosevelt selected as his home ranch, the place where he found solitude, where he grieved the death of his mother and his wife, who coincidentally both died on the same day in 1884. Oh, check it out. Here's the river, the Little Missouri.
Yeah, I think we're here. It was a little less than 3/4 of a mile. According to my tracker, 0.62 miles, which is almost 3/4. What a beautiful setting.
All that's left, apparently, is part of this foundation. Everything else was scrapped after Roosevelt sold the ranch in 1898.
This is the end. Yeah, beautiful. Apparently there's not a whole lot left of the ranch. Maybe those stones that we saw are like the foundation. All right. Goodbye, Teddy. I don't think he liked being called Teddy Roosevelt. So, Mr. Theodore Roosevelt. Let's see if there's anything else to see back here. Otherwise, we're just gonna start heading back. This trail goes a little farther. Maybe there's another information, please. Look at those trees. Oh well, no, that's it. If it wasn't like really hot, like in the 90s, it would be great to linger here and admire the natural beauty of this place, but yeah, let's go. This is another overlook. I don't know how stable the ground here is. Very nice.
All right, I think we've had enough fun for one day. Let's go back to Medora.
You wouldn't happen to know which way to the Grasslands now, would you? Well, never mind.
We're not gonna drive straight back to Medora. I just want to explore a little more of this amazing landscape with the light we have left. Medora here, by the way, apparently pretty cool town with lots of things to do, none of which we're going to be able to do this time around. The main one I wanted to see is actually a musical show called the Medora Musical, which is supposed to be world class, but the main reason we're here, the Badlands, and we're gonna continue exploring them tomorrow. The Medora Musical will have to wait. morning! It's a brand new day, and today we're going to the north unit of the park, which is a 68-mile drive on I-94 and US 85. Should take a little over an hour, and one thing to note is that the north unit is in the central time zone, while the south unit is in mountain time, so we're gonna lose 1 hour in the process. Oh wow, I'm impressed. On initial approach, I would almost say the north unit is more striking, more beautiful than the south. More of these expansive views. I have an orange, an apple for breakfast. And then we'll do the scenic drive. What have we got here? Wildlife! We've got a lone bison grazing in the prairie. Once again, the Little Missouri River here to the left. Okay, longhorns, I don't see any, but they are lurking somewhere out there, I'm sure. Next, we are going to see the Cannonball Concretions, perhaps one of the most unique formations here in the North Unit. But before that, more wildlife. Here's another lone bison. This one is resting, taking a break. Here we are, and we don't have the best light here in the morning to appreciate all the detail on this wall. We might want to come back later.
Alright, let's go for a little hike. And it's 2.1 miles to the prairie dog town. I don't think I want to go that far. Let's just see some of these cannonballs. And I believe this is like the main one here, coming up ahead. Yeah, this is it, right here. And but what I'm even more impressed at is this wall. Look at this wall. It's like
amazing rock formations. This must be a geologist's dream coming to this place. Perhaps it is an ancient egg. What do you guys think? We're starting to gain some elevation here as we approach the River Bend Overlook.
Here we go, River Bend Overlook.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the Little Missouri out there. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a better view from down there.
I hear steps approaching from behind. So let's continue.
All right.
Very nice views of the river and the surrounding rock formations. And I guess the trail keeps going down because I see some people all the way down there.
It is starting to get a little crowded here in the park. Actually, more people than at South Unit yesterday. Maybe because it is Friday and I guess people start going out on Fridays more. All right, let's see what this is. Oh, this is beautiful. Let's stop. Tonic clay, blue-black, popcorn-like soil that caps the plateau 50 feet below this point. Bluish-colored layer can be traced for miles up the river.
We've got more bison. Lots of them now, a whole herd. This is the end of the road. Oxbow Overlook.
Okay, the Overlook Trail should be easy. Oh yeah, definitely an expansive view here. Okay, don't show this to my mom, the fact that I'm standing here on the edge of the precipice. But, you know, it's not a zoo. Sometimes you get to see a lot of wildlife, sometimes you don't. You know, it's a matter of luck. And we did see that herd of bison, and had we not had yesterday, that would have been the highlight of our whole experience here in Theodore Roosevelt National Park. But we had yesterday, and the north here, the north unit is beautiful as well, but I still think I like the south unit better. I don't know why. And definitely recommend you visit this national park, by the way. It's one of those that doesn't always show up in the in the top 10 lists, but...
Yeah, the North Dakota Badlands, definitely worth a visit. Let's start heading back.
All right, let's revisit this area real quick here with the cannonballs.
Yeah, much better lighting now when it comes to appreciating the texture on the rock. Now let's go back to the Little Missouri National Grasslands, but the ones on this side of the river. Yesterday we did the west side, today we're doing the east side. And it looks like we're getting to the good part.
It's a picnic area. A more developed area here with the bathroom. And there's some people actually picnicking.
Since we are outside the boundary of the national park, I can show you all this from a higher perspective. Same road we took yesterday when we got out of the park. That we saw the UPS truck going like 50 miles per hour on this road. Which means we are now going back into the south unit of the national park. Yeah, lots of bison jams. And with that, we are going to say goodbye. Till next time to North Dakota. I've been so pleasantly surprised by the least visited state in the country that I vow to return one of these days. I didn't get a chance to explore Medora here, or Williston to the northwest, or Grand Forks to the east, or the International Peace Garden by the Canadian border. So, as I tend to say, next time. Tomorrow we continue driving to the west, onto the great state of Montana. But more about that on the next episode. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and see you on the road.
I'm riding in my